Thursday, 8th of July, and look at that beauty. I'm Nick Wilkins, host of the Motorcycle Diaries. Today I am going out on two bikes. First is Ducati Streetfighter, and then I should be taking out the Blade once more. I've got to swap that over soon. Not bad little collection, is it? Super Tenere, Victory Hammer S. That bike, Victory Hammer S, has had one of the most profound effects on me of any bike for ages. But more on that in a bit, because this is my second ride of the Ducati, my second video I should say. And the first one, immediately when I rode it I was like, it's got Ducati passion, it's unbelievably powerful, it's amazing, but it just felt kind of awkward. Little things really annoyed me, like not enough room for my heel on the back plate here, it's pushing you out, and that indicator switch, God, who designed that, man? When you're feeling it, you think with your gloves on, you stopped it and you haven't, and it keeps on running. But let's start with the things I love about this. The looks. It's distinctive, man. So you've got like a 1098 engine in there for most of it, with an 1198 crank casing on it because it's lighter. This is not the S version. With the S, you obviously get the Olin shocks, you get the different exhausts, and you get lots of different upgrades to it. And one of the biggest things you get on the S is the traction control. And I'm not going to lie, I've used to riding big racing twins. I've ridden the 1198S, the R, all that kind of stuff. But that's a good thing on the road, especially if you're not used to riding a bike as powerful as this. Now with the Streetfighter, it's obviously designed as a Streetfighter, which means it's the racing pedigree with a kind of upright feel. You look at the CB1000R, the Kawasaki Z1000, the FZ1s. These are bikes I love because you can ride around in comfort, and yet they still absolutely give it some when you open it. The thing with this, which I found, is it's just not that easy to ride at low speeds. It doesn't feel comfortable. I don't know why. Maybe it's because of the way that the twin delivers the power and it's just a bit lumpy. Maybe it's just me. But when you get up to speed, it handles beautifully and it is amazing. It looks, as I say, distinctively Ducati. It's got a little thinner kind of fuel tank. Chassis has been changed slightly from the 1098, and it's a lot of fun. But what's it going to be like to ride? I'm going to head down to Street Bike actually, get some guys' opinions there on what it looks like, things like that, just because it's a nice place to hang out with bikers, grab a coffee, and then I'll be out on the Blade later. I've got the helmet cam on. First up, let me show you what this beast sounds like. Now, I showed you the coolest thing from Ducati, which I should remind you is that, the flip switch to start it up. Also, when you turn it on, I quite like the fact that it comes across and says Ducati Streetfighter at the bottom there, quite nice. And then start it is just that simple. As you can hear, it's a twin, it makes a hell of a lot of noise. So, I'm going to get on this, have some fun. It's a beautiful machine. £14,000, it's more expensive than the Speed Triple, it's more expensive than any of its rivals by, you know, a good couple of grand, £3 grand. Speed Triple I loved. That's what this reminds me of, to be honest with you, a kind of handbrake bike that you love riding, but it will almost kill you at the same time. But yeah, I'm going to get on it, see if I can stay alive. Be back in a sec. torque on this thing is simply unbelievable. Having taken it on the country roads, suddenly it comes to life, all that passion, all that spirit. It is a dog at low speeds around town because it's a twin. You're so far over the tank and handlebars, you're slapping your testicles, it's a nightmare. But you get up to speed, suddenly the riding position makes sense. You've got your weight over the front wheel, you can dip it into corners, it's like I'm a monster. That twin, Jesus fast. I mean, listen to it. Woo! I love this bike. I wouldn't want to commute on it every day, but as a bike take up a blast, it's amazing. But then, I suppose, you kind of think, well, Why not just get the race bike? It does look good though, doesn't it? Anyway, I'm going to show you what I mean by saying the torque and speed and power of this thing. Hopefully throw it a few 350. Wow, what can I say? Look at me. That was a hell of a lot of fun. Still, from what I was saying before about this Ducati Streetfighter, you're going to hear a lot of my comments through the cam hopefully, and if not, just that stupidly loud sound of the exhaust. I've had a lot of fun on this, I'm not going to lie. I was sitting in traffic trying to get out of Birmingham for about 20 minutes. I was hot. The heat this gives off, obviously it's not fair. You're getting straight from the chassis, the twin. Twin being a racing big, you know, 1100 twin, it's lumpy as hell. So when you're around town, it's just not a lot of fun. The natural riding position, unlike say on a CB1000R or an FZ1 or a Z1000, you know, you are arched forward over the front wheel. You're not as upright as you would be on a lot of naked kind of street fighter bikes, and it just felt uncomfortable. It felt awkward because you're over the front tyre, and every time you touched the brakes, it was slapping me nuts, to put it in a nice way, into the tank, because you can see the angle on the seat there. It's just doing you, and that's this Ducati thing. But then, just as I was sitting there going, man, I can't believe this. I can't find a Ducati that I don't love. You get on the open road, then it all makes sense. That seating position is so that your weight's over the front wheel, so you can dip it into the corners. And suspension's great, it comes to life. You suddenly go from feeling a little bit stiff to getting the right amount of feedback. That engine goes from being lumpy and hard to kind of use at low speeds to screaming torque. I mean, there is no doubt, if you ride this thing, you're going to get your front wheel up. It's a fact. I think I did it every single time I pulled off from the lines. Obviously I was giving it some and it was nice and controlled, but that's a great buzz you're going to get. As I mentioned, suspension comes to life when you start getting up there, and so does the handling. What can seem awkward at low speed suddenly starts flowing. You'll be putting loads of nice corners together. Yeah, what can I say? It's really, really blown me away. I must admit, the one thing I'm going to debating about is this, though. If it isn't something like as practical and as easy to use as a commuter, you know, why not just go for the 1098 or the 1198? A couple of grand more, but you're getting the full-on racing experience. But I do think it's a bit of a one-off styling, isn't it? I mean, look at it, it's beautiful. It is beautiful. And that, as I say, that passion that goes into Ducatis, once you get up to speed, you realise just how amazing it is. I'm going to do a big night ride on this because I've got to take the blade out tonight, because it's only fair. I need to take it out somewhere where I can properly ride it. Almost, you've got to kind of almost think of this as a superbike. I know it's a street fighter, but yeah, I suppose it's obviously a superbike engine and stuff in it. But I love it. I love it. I couldn't just, I mean, £14,000 if I had it, yeah, maybe. But you know, you're looking at maybe a street triple for less than that. That is a little bit, I mean, I wouldn't say the street triple's more manageable, but like the FZ1, the CB1000 are more manageable, they're less. But you don't get that Ducati-ness into it, and anyone who's a Ducati fan is going to want to buy this anyway. What can I say? I'd be tempted to get the S version of the traction control, but then you'd lose all the fun. I like getting my front wheel up. Anyway, Ducati Streetfighter, second ride on it, second video I should say. I've been riding a bit more. It's definitely grabbed me by the balls this time. Sore ones. It's got to be said from all that tank slapping, but no, it has. It's really, really made that impression. Getting out, giving it a real blast. What a machine. It's a proper racer. But next, Blade. Go in, have a shower, have some food, watch a bit of cricket, out on that for a night ride. See you in a bit.